Not sure what the best content to create? Well, give me a few minutes, and in this video, I'm going to show you exactly the best type of content to create. I'm going to show you with proof why it is the best to create. If you like my simple guide that walks you through how to appear like you're everywhere, get consistent eyes on your business without trying to be everywhere, drop a comment below and I'll send it over to you. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Maurice A. Davis, and I'm a business show architect. Over the last 5 years, I've helped over 500 business owners gain clarity and grow their business. Essentially, I help professional service businesses launch shows that gets them a flood of customers without the need for expensive equipment and technology that they'll never use. So let's talk about this video where we're going to walk you through the best type of content to create, why it's that way, and then show you based on like human psychology why it's that way, right? So this is not going to be one of those videos where I'm like, just trust me, bro. All right, so I'm going to share my screen and we're going to talk about what I like to call the communication clarity model, right? And it's a fancy way of saying like, how do we best receive information? So when we look at this, I'm going to draw a little figure here. Okay. And these lines basically represent how content can progress. So if we look on the bottom end, we have text. This is on the lowest end of our clarity or understanding. The problem with text is that it lacks some of the context that comes with other forms of communication. So we have to understand that when we write something, it is much harder for someone to uh, get the message that you're trying to deliver. That's why sometimes when you text someone, you send them a text, you might mean it to be very sincere, but they take it and they're like, this sounds sarcastic. Then we go from text and then we go image. Actually, we're going to say picture because it's smaller. Go text to picture. Picture's worth 1,000 words, right? So there's much more context inside of the image. Okay. So if you send someone a picture, then they're more likely to understand what's going on, even absence of you explaining what's going on. Then we have audio. Again, much more context. You're able to deliver. They're able to hear your tone, but they're not able to see you. Then we have video. Because I can hear you, I can see you, I'm much more likely to understand what you're saying. But also, what's happening now is that as we're adding these additional components, I'm much more likely to trust you. Okay. Then we have speaking, and I mean in person. So I'm talking about like speaking from the stage. Now I see you, you're in person, I know you're real, and I think this is going to become more important as time goes on and people become more skeptical about what is artificial intelligence and then what is like real people. I think we're going to see more of this where people want to see things happen in person because now I can touch it. I know that what's happening is has some air of realism, okay? And then we have one-on-one. Now, this is just the model of clarity. But what we'll find out is that as we go up on this model, these areas here, let me change my highlighter. These areas here are highly leverageable. What do I mean by highly leverageable? Well, they can be utilized and repurposed for other pieces. So like this video, I can take this video and I can turn this video into an audio. I can turn it into a text. I can use it for something else later that maybe ends up on a sales page, whatever, right? And it works without me being there. This area here, grab this. This area here has the highest level of clarity, but tends to have the lowest leverageability. But what we'll find is when we start talking about clarity, on the bottom here, you see this arrow. As we get higher up in clarity, we'll notice that intimacy increases, right? So I get closer to being near a real person. Now, there are several books that talk about this, but I want to I don't want to get too far into this. So then what is the best form of content? Well, if we look at this model, where we're going to find our sweet spot is going to be right in here. Now I'm going to add another drawing here because I want you to really understand. And I told you I was going to share proof, right? So there's some additional context that I want you to see. Let me zoom in on this. Right here. So this comes from, right, Yale Center of Learning. Okay, so I don't want to just say it. I want to show it to you. Let's see here. Multiple modalities can assist all students regardless of proposed learning style, right? And you're probably like, well, Maurice, what does that have to do with like me creating content? Well, we have to realize that when we're creating content, we are taking on the role as an educator. We're taking on the role as a teacher. Typically, the reason why our customers or clients are going to look for content is because they have a gap in knowledge and they need information to fill in that gap. So let's get back to this idea. What is the best form of content? Well, if we think about our customers here and their person, and we take what we just learned, the best form of content uses multiple modalities: video, text, audio, and picture. Okay. So when we think about how can I make my content as good as possible, and ironically, right? So you're watching my video right now. What am I doing? I'm using video, I'm using audio, I've utilized text, and I've utilized pictures, all within the one video. This video is much richer than if I had just sat in front of you and said, you should be making videos that have multiple learning modalities. But I also provided you context as to the why. Okay. So when next time you're creating content, think about how you can go about providing some additional context. I've included the link for this video this article, so you can go read it yourself. It is about learning. It's about learning. So it's not going to directly relate to creating content for your business. But if you step back and realize that what you're doing is teaching people, you will find a lot of really great information you can use in there in order to improve your ability to create content. So in this video, we talked about the different learning mode. We talked about leveraging different learning modalities. We looked at communication clarity and how we get closer to being in person. Intimacy increases, clarity increases. And we talked about leveraging multiple learning modalities within our content in order to improve its overall success. So if you like a copy to my guide that talks about how you can be everywhere or look like you're everywhere without trying to be everywhere, so you can avoid the stress while getting the visibility that your business needs, let me know in the comments below and I'll send it over to you immediately. Outside of that, stay out here winning, y'all.